And welcome to the fourth wave. My name is Scott, and you are on my channel. This is Sporking News Podcast, and with us today, as always, Bear, Nerd Fun. How are you doing, Bear?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good.
Uh,
Yeah.
how's life treating you? What are you working on? Anything good?
Oh, I've got a video I got to cook because I prepped it yesterday. I got the body of it. I just got to insert it into, you know, the main background stuff like that.
Good, man.
But that's my centerpiece is always the recording that I do, and I got a pause button, and that's a really great thing. It'll look like it's finely edited, but it's really not. It's just when I get stuck somewhere, I got that pause button, real convenient. But yeah, doing real good. Suffered a little bit of acid reflux,
Oh, that's the worst.
It hardly ever gets me, man, but man, it got me last night. And the thing of it is I didn't drink too much coffee yesterday, and I think it was it might have been some sodium content. Yeah, yeah, coffee.
I'm glad you're not refluxing right now, brother. And
oh man,
the rest of the crew is either sick, daddy duty, or something else. So we brought in we're trying to help out smaller channels. So we brought in a newcomer. His name is Tom. He's with
I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, Tom, I saw one of your videos. Wasn't good. But I'm
trying.
You're working on it, and that's all that counts. You look like a person, and you sound okay. So, I mean, you always have an opportunity to grow. Everybody, Tom.
What's wrong with my voice? Don't I have a good voice for this?
It's fantastic. If you sounded a little bit more Batman, a little less Bruce Wayne or Robin, you might be good.
Like this. Mysterious sounding.
I'm telling you, that's my favorite voice.
Where are the other drugs going?
You're frightened of guns, aren't you?
What do they got? Do they got pot? They got some coke. How about some lewds?
Lewds. I don't think they even make lewds anymore, but
that's a damn shame.
Yeah. There's what is it that one movie where there's all kinds of lewds in it and
Wolf
stock
of Wall
market.
Street?
Wolf of Wall Street. My God. Man, you just watch that movie and you'll just get high from watching the movie because they're popping so many lewds and different kinds of pills in that thing, man.
My favorite part's when he's like trying to remember and he's like, I didn't have an accident or nothing like that. And then you flash back to the reality and he's like crashing into all kinds of shit.
All right.
Man.
I'm quiet, so let me know if it sounds better as we go on, guys. My computer sucks, and I probably have one too many windows open. So I'm gonna.
I don't know. Yeah, you're just a tad quiet, so that's just. I don't know if the chat's hearing it worse or not, but.
Yeah,
they're saying you're really quiet too. Yeah.
All right, I'll work on that. We do have something we're gonna start up, but let's first say hello to the chat. So we have Matt G in the house, Tom Sup. It's been 19 hours since the last time. LOL at midnight.
Too long.
After dark. That is way too long. Way too long. We also have, as always, Random Brad Creates. And he says, hail chat, Spork, Bear, and Tom. We also got Reverend Toad. All right, Scott, you're really quiet. Thank you. Am I better now, Reverend? Thanks for showing up. Thomas Gilkey. I hope everything's good
Thomas.
at home. Great guy, Thomas. If you guys haven't subbed to Thomas, please do. He has a great channel. He's always supporting everybody else, so please support him. And one of my favorites of all time now, Twisted Mind Collision. Hail, gents. Nice to see you all again. Seems so long. I'm at work, so gonna have to keep you in the background. Well, thank you for having us up. And then there's just Bear Nerd Fun. So if you guys are out there, let me know. Oh, I mean,
just
Bear. All right, am I still quiet there, guys? That's weird.
I'd have to listen to the. Hold on, let me unmute the other window.
Check, mic. Check.
You could be a little louder.
All right, I don't even know how to do that. So welcome to my party, everybody. I'll have to work on that another day. I'll just be loud. So we were going to give you guys a little time to join us. We got a couple people. I know it's not Steven's channel, so we won't get the whopping 20 people we get. God damn it. Maybe Tom retweeted something once in his life. He might help us out.
I did.
I know you did. Thank you so much.
I didn't retweet, but I did post it. Retweet it too.
You know, Scott is our meaningful, going places bag of air that does something.
I am a bag of air.
Actually useful. And so he's our bag of air that does important things.
He keeps it up. I'm going to call him Jeff.
Oh, you son of a bitch. All right. So if people out there that don't know this story, Tom invited me on Midnight's Edge After Dark the first time. And I felt like, you ever feel like when you walk into a bar and you just get some looks? Well, it was both Rob and Mecca were in the same spot. They were at Mecca's. So it was like they were both looking at me from one frame, like, who the hell is this guy? So I thought we had a good time. We had a great time. All right, check you later, guys. Check you later. Thanks, Tom. And he invited me back. And I was like, yes, I'm going back on Midnight's Edge. And I got there and he's like, Tom's like, hey, Scott, what's up? He even said my name. And Rob's like, Jeff, how are you doing? I think maybe the next 6 times I went on, or I've probably been on there that much. He has called me Jeff until the very last one I've been on. He really thought my name was Jeff the whole time. That's the best part.
Well, you kind of do look like a Jeff.
Everybody is Jeff to him, though. So.
Oh, it's not even special?
No, I don't know.
Oh, man. All right. Does it sound any better, Reverend Toad? I think I turned up my main mix a little bit. I don't know if that helps.
You sound louder here.
Yeah, it's not.
Let me unmute the other window.
It's not reacting like it usually. So we are going to start off. Let's also.
Yeah, you're good.
All right, better.
Tetsui
Nomi. What's up? So we have the first article, and Bear's going to bring that up when he has a chance, and I will share it, Bear. So bring it up, Tom.
So we're not going to talk about Grace Randolph.
Oh my God, man! Was that you that I saw that from Twitter? That
Probably.
she had no freaking clue about anything when it comes to Batman. Like, how? Wait a minute. What did she say? It was like
she don't know who Joe Chill is.
No, right. And then she said something like, "It's supposed to be a mystery. It's supposed to be all of Gotham." Like Joe Chill. How do you know who Joe Chill is? Even if you're kind of a like a not a normie, but like a casual Batman fan, I thought you would know who that was.
Or at least you understand or remembered, I seen that Batman movie and that guy got shot that shot his parents. Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey, you were talking about going on Midnight's Edge, and well, the first time I went on Friday Night Tights, I gotta say, I was nervous the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
I was.
Dude, excuse me. There's 3,000 people watching that.
Yeah.
You know?
I was. It didn't look obvious that I was nervous. I don't play poker, but I got a good poker face.
Yeah, no, you did well, man. I actually enjoyed that. And we have the CjH, praise the algorithm. Greetings. It's kind of funny because last time CJ missed our whole thing. He said it popped up early. I don't know if this means anything, Tom. People are telling me that I'm starting to come up in the recommended more. Is that because I'm closer to a number, or is it amount of videos? Do you know how it works?
Not exactly. But I do see that I got the alert for the stream.
Well, I have seen recommendations for Midnight's Edge after my videos play and Gary's, and I've seen every now and then one of my videos gets recommended after one of theirs plays.
That's awesome,
cool.
dude.
So it probably happens 3 times a month.
Are you getting that together to share that, buddy? I think
which one I got both open. Which one we going with?
Yeah, we're going with the She-Hulk one first. So
right.
For anybody who hasn't heard about this one of the writers from She-Hulk made a little comment about South Park. So we're gonna read that article and get some what I like to think is almost Tom, I kind of consider you an insider to me. So when I say insider sources, it's really I just watched one of your videos.
Go ahead, throw it up.
But no one needs to know that. All right. There we go.
I do the same thing.
All right, Bear, if you want to read that one, you want to start it off. And if anybody has not heard Bear read an article yet, you're in for a treat. It's fun.
Alrighty. Marvel Studios She-Hulk writer Dana Schwartz. Obviously, the Schwartz is not with her. It seems impossible to overstate the cultural damage done by South Park. Yeah, and the South Park characters are laughing their ever-loving butts off. Yeah, by John F. Trent. John F. Trent does have a YouTube channel, and I will share that link here in a moment. Marvel Studios, She-Hulk. Yeah.
I know, right?
Good guy. Writer Dana Schwartz took to Twitter to criticize Trey Parker and Matt Stone's South Park, claiming it seems impossible to overstate the cultural damage done by South Park. Schwartz wrote, in retrospective, it seems impossible to overstate the cultural damage done by South Park and show that portrayed earnestness as the only sin and taught that mockery is the ultimate inoculation against all criticism. In subsequent tweets, Schwartz added, smugness is not the same as intelligence. Provocation isn't the same as bravery. The lesser of the two evils aren't the same. She then claims that South Park is trying to reckon with her criticism. After criticizing the show, Schwartz revealed her main complaint was actually with fans of the show, specifically the boys. Oh my God, the boys must have done something. Okay, back to the article. Who watched it? She wrote, to be clear, I don't blame the show itself as much as I do the generation of boys who internalize it into their personalities, which maybe isn't the show's fault. Maybe this particular person doesn't have any personality of her own.
Yeah, let's stop right there and talk about that. Tom, what do you think about that?
I think South Park's the greatest show ever made, and this bitch can suck a dick.
Yeah, that is perfect. That is.
You notice in the thumbnail that Gal Gadot is holding said chick by her hair.
Well,
I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud?
Oh, this is my channel. I ain't monetized, bro. You can say whatever you want. What gets me is this. It's this girl is born in 1993. I think I was watching Mecca's channel. It might have been Mecca or John Talks. The chick is born in 1993, and South Park's started airing in 96. All right. This has been her whole life, South Park. South Park has taken on some of the biggest issues of the last 20 plus years and made it into a satire, made it funny, but actually answered those questions with what those guys believe is correct, which most of the time I agree with. So I don't know where she's coming from, this woke, idea that, if they're not agreeing with her, they must be bad. And now the fans, she must have had a boyfriend that was a douche.
Or really like South Park.
That's what I'm saying. Like, she must have had like a boyfriend that she would be like, can we do something? He's like, I'm watching another episode of South Park. Why don't you just go grab me a beer and shut the fuck up? Something like that. Also, I want to put this out here right now because CjH let me know this. This is not a kid-friendly channel. I am not a kid-friendly person. I do love my own children, but the rest of you can go bite it. So for some reason, they're saying that my channel is kid-friendly. It is not. I know I set it up as it's not, so I'll have to double-check that. That's weird. Bear, you want to read a little bit more? I mean, it's just going to be drivel, but let's hear what she has to say.
She elaborated, writing, my point is that South Park seems to teach that it was cooler to be reactionary and contrarian, and anyone who criticizes anything is offended, and that's the real problem. Wonder if that's the message these fans absorbed. She then took issue.
Wait a minute. So reread that part where she said, is it the fans she's saying are reactive, right? And they're actually sensitive? Is that what I'm reading correctly? Say that again.
In quotes, my point was that South Park seemed to teach that it was cooler to be reactionary and contrarian, and anyone who criticizes anything is offended. And that's a quote within a quote, and that's the real, I guess star is supposed to be quotations, problem. Wonder if that's the message these fans absorbed. Yeah, she's full of shit. She then took issue. She then took issue with the show for its no holds bar approach to criticism. Schwartz writes, people saying they make fun of everyone. That is my point. South Park is a political show. Since frickin' when?
Well, I wouldn't say they're political, but they have their views. I mean, they're created by human beings.
They freaking make fun of everything, though. You know, everything is open game, so it's like I don't get the political part, not a bit. I would say political satire, maybe they're confusing political satire, which is very different from being actual political.
Right. They'll make fun of both sides of the aisle.
Yeah, and you know, she deserves to be held by the hair by Gal Gadot and say, "Bitch, please." In separate threads on Twitter, we should target South Park creators Matt Stone and Trey Parker based on their wealth and skin color. What?
Read that again.
What did I just freaking read?
Yeah, make sure people heard that one.
In separate threads on Twitter, she would target South Park creators Matt Stone and Trey Parker based on their wealth and skin color.
So,
this woman is a third wave fucking feminist. I'm gonna say
you're
it
just
like
asking for them to go after you.
Exactly. Do you think that might be what it is? She wants to be on South Park?
Maybe, but they're smart enough that they won't directly mention her, but they will go after her agenda.
Yes.
They'll put her agenda in a tune.
And they'll have some fat, ugly chick or Cartman dressed as a woman acting like that.
Well, they kind of did last year, Cartman went all SJW or whatever.
That was a great one. Oh, those guys are awesome.
Guys are funny. Deal with it.
This is what kills me once again. And I know it must be like I'm a broken record, but I am really getting sick and tired. In the 1960s, we had the civil rights movement, which was, and make sure everyone hears me, a great thing. It preached equality. It preached that we are all the same. There are no labels. Why in the last 5 years does everybody want to put a label? And when your label is white male, you get attacked, and there is no one says, "Oh, that's wrong."
It's targeted racism.
It is.
It truly is.
Yeah.
But and then when you say that,
and she's targeting herself because she obviously hates herself because she looks pretty white to me.
Well, a lot of the white females go that way. Not the beautiful women in the Fandom Menace, but you will get these people who I watched the video.
Self-white hate is abound.
It's huge. Look, I don't know if you guys saw it. It was on, I saw it in somebody's post on Twitter, and it was these black gentlemen, and they were preaching, the white man should bow down to them, whatever. And a guy and his girlfriend were kissing their boots, and they wanted to. Like, look, I understand you might feel guilty that you might have been born into a family that is a step above people that are in poverty. But guess what? A lot of white people weren't. And to bow down to someone because your guilt, to maybe donate your time, feed the children. I don't know what to tell you, but to kiss another man's boot and then allow your semi-hot girlfriend to do the same thing. What is wrong with you?
Disrespectful.
But it's like, how is it disrespectful when you're doing it to yourself?
That's what I'm saying. It's disrespectful.
It is.
I grew up in Gary, Indiana, and
everybody
I knew all types. And let me tell you one thing: when you live in a area like Gary, it's about respect.
For the record, the Jacksons came from there.
Yes, the Jacksons lived not very far from where I lived in Gary.
Really?
I mean, it was a house that I could drive by.
They got it marked, don't they?
Oh, hell yeah! It's one of those.
It's just a little white house, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's been declared one of those
landmark.
Yeah, one of those landmarks. It's not just historical; it's international too.
Well, I think he was even born in the house, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, let me tell you, when you're driving, me being a person from Gary, Indiana, remember, keep in mind, Gary was the murder capital of the world for several years running, and it switches back and forth between Detroit and Watts in LA and other places too, Chicago.
Yep.
Recently. And let me tell you, when you're driving down the road, you look over and nod at someone, then you keep driving, they nod back. That's called respect. You live and die by respect in a place like that. You don't survive by being disrespectful. I'd like to see one of these chauncey little fucking bitches go to Gary and try and pull their shit.
Well, this is what I'm saying, dude.
You know what? It's not going to work out very well for them. They're either A, they're going to get their fucking head shot off, or B, they're going to get their ass beat.
Right.
Tarred and then feathered.
Right,
I'm not kidding. Somebody from the hood in the west side of Gary did some bad shit, and they got tarred and feathered and got made to walk naked down the main drag.
I'll tell you, though, that guy with that chick who's kissing the boots, those guys legally have the right to take his chick, and he can't say shit.
It's one of those.
You done gave up your man card, dude.
Well, I almost was ready to see her just walk away with those dudes. Like
That's what I'm saying, right?
No, I'm with you, man. That was one of the most pathetic things I've ever seen. Like, first of all, you kissing the boot is pathetic, but to allow your girlfriend, your woman, to kiss a man's that I don't know. Maybe I was born in the wrong era. Hey, Immortal Coil, how you doing, brother? I'm actually going to come back on camera because you are the most handsome man in the world. What's going on? Oh, I'm sorry. Not handsome. What are you again? You are the most manliest man on YouTube.
Hey, I got carded the other day.
Savage. How you doing, my friend? I know you told me. You told us that the last stream.
I'm still blown away by it. I'm fucking 48 and I got carded.
All right, let's see what the chat had to say. All right, so we got CjH saying it's a satire show. They've made fun of Star Wars too. Exactly. They make fun of everything. Non-PC content is somehow most interesting to me because there is more truth in it. I completely agree on that. South Park's run is nothing less than historic. I mean, next to what? The Simpsons? Is it the second longest non-stop cartoon?
Cartoon, yes. I think
for adults,
for adults, not like Saturday night.
Because SpongeBob has been on for God, how many years now?
Oh my God!
I think SpongeBob's been on longer. That's why. And then Meet the Press, I think 80s. Is the longest running show. Well, no, SpongeBob's early, not like mid 90s, early to mid.
Right.
Yeah. And it was around the same time as South Park, though. It was close.
One of the longest running shows, or the longest running show, is something called like Santo Domingo something.
And Meet the Press is another one. And then MASH had like 20. No, it didn't have 20 seasons, but it had like 18, I think it was, or something like that.
Right, it was long. So, Orange Hat
May
Reviews.
1st, 1999.
Oh, so it was a little later than I thought.
Yeah. I thought
what was May 1st?
That's SpongeBob.
The first time it aired.
Okay.
Because I thought I was still in high school when it came out, but I guess not.
Yeah, I thought I was a loser at that time.
Well,
I was still a loser.
I know a lot of parents that didn't let their kids watch SpongeBob.
Well, it's because it had a stigma to it. There was like this thing going around that it was for stoners made by stoners. That's what I remember when it first came out.
But you see, one thing, there was one main reason why I let my kids watch it, because there was a lot of morals being taught in that cartoon. SpongeBob had morals he lived by. He had a code, and it's like, all right, I can put up with the stupid shit because he's actually teaching kids a morality. And that's why I let my kids watch SpongeBob.
Yeah.
SpongeBob always does the right thing.
I just want to say hello to a couple more. Let me quickly, and then I got you, brother. I'm sorry. You just got on too, and I just cut you off. Welcome to my channel. To acknowledge that one has white privilege is in itself racist. Just like Tom said, they are placing themselves above others based on skin color. It's the truth. Orange Hat Review, if you're not subscribe to him, click on his face, go to his channel. You won't lose us. Subscribe to him. Good dude. At Orange Hat Review, true. Getting on your knees and kissing someone's feet isn't equality. Oh, my man. That is the perfect way of putting it. So, Immortal, you're jumping into this one. We're reading this article right here. It's an article about one of the female writers of She-Wolf. She's like attacking, or not She-Wolf. I'm sorry, She-Hulk. She's attacking mostly the fans of South Park, saying that pretty much, they're biased towards other people. She had a boyfriend. I think Tom is correct. She had a boyfriend. He watched too much South Park. This is her chance now to attack.
Okay.
But what do you feel about someone saying that, you know, South Park is teaching the wrong lesson? They're political, they're this, they're that. What do you think?
You know, South Park is famous for not giving a fuck about anything.
Yes, sir.
And the first thing that I think about when it comes to South Park, Starvin' Marvin, and I think about how they killed Chef.
You're going way back to the first season on that.
I know.
Starvin' Marvin
Oh, he's
season.
back there, man.
And I think about their treatment of the Mormons. Honestly.
You
And
got
the
it.
Correct answer
It was
is
there.
Mormon. You are all wrong.
And the Scientology.
Remember that episode?
You know, like
Yes,
Xenu, like
yes.
brr, brr, brr. So
But I mean, they have
The moral of
Jesus
the
Christ as
story-
one of their characters.
the moral of the story is that South Park cuts on everyone. And if you're gonna get butthurt about South Park publicly, then you don't get the fucking meaning of South Park or its essence or its value and culture.
Right.
You know?
it's
And
it's
they've
one
done
of,
some go ahead.
evidently she's one of those pampered, cultured people that never really seen the reality of things and how things are, and reverse reality and comedy and stuff like that, parody. She don't understand that stuff.
Oh, none
You
of these
know-
kids do.
And
There
it
you
would
go,
be
Tom.
nice if everybody behaved as according to my head.
Wow, that's a really good way of putting it, man.
Well, I put it pretty simply. You know, we go by, you know, I'm not a big religious person and whatever, but like pretty much everybody, if everybody lived by the same rules and morals, like the basics, don't take my shit and don't fuck my shit or kill me, and we'll get along. I mean, that's really all you got to live by, you know? It's about the gist of it.
For real. You
I
go
mean, it's
over
a-
there and you do your thing. I'm going to be over here doing this. If you need some like sugar or salt, if you want to borrow my horse, fucking, you know.
You can borrow my horse, just don't fuck my horse. You know, it's like-
Right. I'd rather have you, you know, my wife, but not my horse. But, you know, they always say the golden rules. Most major religions follow this, unless you
Same
warp the
basic
religion.
rules, yeah.
It's the same basic golden rules, the rules you learn in kindergarten. If it's not yours, don't take it. You know, if you borrow it, give it back. Be nice to one another. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Don't kill that guy.
Yeah, don't kill that guy. You know, let the government do that. You know, like shit. You know, like come
they
on.
have their own reasons.
Yes, they do, brother. That's for another
Excuse
one of
me.
our
And
streams.
don't do stuff to kids or animals. That's about it, really.
Really, you're absolutely right. Now, Bear, you want to read a little bit more of this one?
Yeah, continue the banter. I'm getting some links together real quick.
No problem.
Okay.
But yeah, South Park's
'Cause-
wonderful. I love how you brought up that Jesus is on there. One of my favorite ones. He's like, I'm going to now turn the water into wine. Turn around. Turn around.
That
I
show
love
is
Man
awesome,
Bear
man.
Pig
Man, Bear Pig.
Yes.
I'm for real. Super cereal.
because he invented the internet.
I invented the internet.
Let's give him credit where credit's due. We would not be here.
Actually,
not
technically,
remembered.
it was called intranet first.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
Excuse my face.
technically, it was called internet first because it was a closed system when they built it, and
Yes.
basically, after they made it available to everybody, it began being called the internet. But I think there might have been one other thing that it was referred to, but I can't remember.
Oh, yeah.
think
There
I
was
also
a lot
used-
of different technologies that were associated with it throughout the 80s, and colleges had them. And
Yeah, Tom, you're closer to my age. I remember my 1995, the fall of 95 was my first year at college. I didn't go to school. I just lived on campus, I guess. Sorry, mom and dad. But I remember my roommate had a home computer. I'd never seen someone own their own computer, and he had electronic mail. And I was like, what is this? And he's like, yeah, I just type it. I hit send. I'm like, you don't have to pay for that.
he's like,
Yeah,
just
it
wait,
wasn't-
in 3 years, we'll be able to see boobs with this thing.
Oh yeah, no, you could see boobs, but it was like it took forever
It
to
was
upload.
Digitized.
Yeah,
It was a
exactly. It was like a
5-second
dot.
little one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it was like a dot matrix file. It like had to like
Uh-huh.
kind of do one of these.
Oh, I'm sure
Yeah.
porn was like the second or third thing to be loaded up on the original internet. I guarantee it.
Orville Nation, what's up,
Hail.
my brother? Hail.
First things first, somebody said hi, and then they said hi back, and then somebody sent a dick pic.
You know it. You know that it had to be within the first 4 emails ever sent, a dick pic.
Look at this.
Yes. Hi, how are you? My dick.
And that's where it started.
Yep. So you up to date yet, Bear? You want to read a little bit more?
Yeah, I'm gonna put one more link in the chat.
All right, you do that, my brother. You are on point.
All right. So, in separate threads on Twitter, she would target South Park creators Matt Stone, Trey Parker, based on their wealth and skin color. Matt and Trey are rich white guys, and they are convinced a generation of scarred. Is that scarred or sacred? Sacred of vulnerable young men that irony will never hurt them. Yeah, she's full of shit. Schwartz would continue to attack Parker and Stone with her main point being about their wealth. She don't get it. She wrote, "You're right. They mock everyone who cares about anything, and they present mockery as a worthwhile and ideological position when it's really on stasis."
And again,
position.
Bear, why do you think they're wealthy?
They probably didn't start out wealthy, but they got a good idea and they made money. It's like, it's called the economic system. You create something, it becomes big, and then you caretake it.
And this is the value of every comic, because comedy is the only safe way to comment on society. And Parker and fucking Stone found a way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. I mean, go back to when monarchy was really monarchy. The only person that could make fun of the king or queen was the court jester. Yep. Remember, go back to Roman times where they would have, I forget what they called them, but they would ride along the emperor, and while everybody's hailing and throwing flowers and all this stuff, he would whisper in his ear, like, not insults, but telling him, "You're not good. You're not worth this. You're not the greatest," because it kept people, focused, but nowadays with social media and all these things, people think they're freaking gods. She believes her take on this really means something. And the sad thing is it gets articles written, it gets us talking about it. In reality, 10, 15 years ago, no one would have ever heard from her. Granted, she probably would have been like 10, but still, let's just say no one would ever known who this girl is. You know what I mean? Like, it's ridiculous.
Right. Well, and I also want to point out that the purpose of such drivel, I can't even point right, is to spread a fucking perception about who we are as people. You're an intelligent mammal. You're an intelligent mammal. You're an intelligent mammal. And you are an intelligent mammal. Why do we have to fucking put up with them calling us this?
No, that's a good question.
It's because the access media and the regular mainstream media, they're pandering to it. That's why it's a thing. If they would just stop pandering to it, it would go out of fashion, you could say.
Is it of their volition?
It's a fashion. I think it's like a fashion. And who knows? Maybe these people might be kind of worshiping it a little bit, And
how do you mean? How do you mean?
Well, look at in the 80s, you had the me generation who cared nothing about themselves and stuff like that. And consequently, you had generations like that, very similar to that. And it almost becomes a worshiping kind of thing, because people and it doesn't have to be necessarily a religion thing. They're worshiping it because they don't know any better. It's what they were taught, and they continue to being taught these things. And it goes all the way back to social structures back in high school, the preps, the jocks, and all that stuff. It's all this stuff. It's the king and queen's game is what it is, and that's what they're playing. And Yeah, and it's a king and queens game, and it's one up, down, one up, one below. And basically what they're doing is they grew up learning this one thing. They all studied political science because they didn't want to study something like literature or something and get an actual education with words. And so they went this route. And so all these political scientists out there that studied all this stuff, now they're in media and they think it actually means something when actually there's very little meaning in it. It's just you got to look below the surface to find the meaning, and they don't know how to. They don't know how to think abstractly.
Okay, wow,
and that's why our news and access media is the way it is. I watched it happen. I grew up watching all this shit happen. You know, you just look back at history and all the stuff that you've seen and where it all leads to.
You don't even have to look. But you don't even have to look back at history anymore, man. Like, just in the last 5 years, look how much, even in America, the political system has changed. Look how far people went left. Look how far people went right. I always considered myself a leftist, a left person. Now I consider myself just liberal. I am not a left. I'm more conservative, like fiscally. So I guess I'm more Republican than anything anymore. So I consider myself a libertarian because I don't want to be a part of any of it anymore. But you go on any of the news stations and then jump to Fox. It's like watching two different countries talk about the same exact thing. Like, you don't realize they're talking about the same person. It's dramatically different depending on what side they went for. So news doesn't matter anymore. News isn't the truth. That's why people watch YouTube, because we give it to them straight. We give them our honest opinion, you know, and they can find what they're looking for. You got people like, Crowder on here. But then you can jump to the other side of it. You got even people like Tim Pool, who's somewhere in the middle. Like, you can find what you're looking for on YouTube. The access media is an old system that needs to die out. All right. You want to read on a little bit? Oh, go ahead, Tom, please.
I was just say, I don't know. I like pie.
Oh God. What type of pie?
Just about any kind of pie.
Me too.
Keep going on your tangent. I'm going to throw some links in the chat for.
All right. Well, I'm going to read out. We got a couple new people in the chat.
Yeah, read their comments.
God, man, you had to write out your name last time. Palanuki, what's up? It's really the new thing of it. It's offending me. You have to stop it. Don't bother us and just don't watch. That's another thing they taught me in kindergarten. If you don't like something someone's saying, walk away. You know,
exactly.
like, you don't have to turn on my channel. I don't mind. Please, even if you hate me, watch my stuff. Please, I really need the views, but you don't have to. You go into a chat, like when Tom's on Midnight's Edge. There's 3 to like sometimes 1,000 people, 12, 1,500, 2,000 people, and you see these trolls that, like, why do you even come on that channel? Like, why are you even watching it? Only to be pissed? Like, I don't get that. Tom, how do you feel about trolls?
They give us the clicks and the watch time, the attention. They drop our names when certain trolls piss us off or try to piss us off or whatever. I just get more followers on Twitter.
Yeah. Hey, man, keep them coming. Monetize that hate.
Yeah, I noticed a while back that I kept on getting like brand new Twitter folks following me. And basically it's like, all right, I am not going to follow you back because you know what? You got no one following you. You got nothing going on. It's like, okay. It kind of made me think maybe that's a troll.
Yeah.
and so
just like Orville Nation. Orville Nation prefers to troll me. I know you do, my friend. Stoggy Returns is in the chat also. Really good. I believe Stoggy YouTube it's not Stoggy, it's Meta something. Stoggy, put your YouTube channel or tell Tommy what it is and we'll put it in the chat. You have some good stuff, brother. Please check him out. Make sure you guys subscribe to us all. Make sure you check your subscriptions. I was actually unsubscribed from Immortal. That's why I wasn't getting anything from you. I had to resubscribe. Yeah, bro. I had to resubscribe. Wow. So please, guys, make sure you guys are subscribed. And Bear, why don't we read a little bit more of this one? If it's going nowhere, we'll jump to the next one.
Let me find where it was. Schwartz says in that sense. Solution.
There we go. I'm sorry, real quick. Stoggy returns, both Axanar, which is awesome, and Meta Studios. Stoggy, you rock, first off, and we want to have you on this channel as a guest. All the guys know you, but they don't know who you are. I do. We want you on this channel. So hopefully sometime, maybe in March somewhere, give you a couple weeks to get your stuff together. We'll have you on as a guest. All right. Move on, boys.
I got his link to his channel.
Awesome. Thank you, buddy.
And we go back there. No, go back right there. All right, folks, this is Stoggy's link to his channel. Go to his channel and sub.
There's more than one, though, but Meta Studios, you could start there. And Axanar is pretty cool. Is that considered a fan film?
Axanar, yes, fan film.
Okay. Well, it's directed beautifully. All right, let's move on.
Better than anything CBS is doing right now.
Hail to that, my friend.
I had to throw that out there. Let's see. Schwartz adds that since I would argue that South Park actually does offer a solution, but their solution is just laughing at everything. The reason why people sometimes just laugh at everything is because they just want to have fun and enjoy themselves. Maybe if this person did that, maybe they would get a clue, but I have serious doubt that they will ever find a clue. Even if they're in a soggy wet paper bag, they will not be able to fight their way out of it.
Man, word to that.
Schwartz then claims the problem with laughing at everybody is that it's a privilege of people who never face systematic discrimination. What is she talking about? I don't get this person.
I don't.
I'm a freaking half breed. I'm half Mexican and Indian, Spanish, and other half white. You know how much shit I got for being a half breed?
That's why we have you on the fourth wave. We need some diversity.
Shit. She just picked a target to get some attention. That's all it is.
That's all it is. I'm done.
She's trying to get a rise out of people is what it is.
Just replace South Park for Trump, replace South Park for whoever. Yeah. And I'm not even a Trump fan for that matter. So I'm just sick and tired of the Trump derangement syndrome on both sides, just like you were saying before, Scott. It's like, it doesn't matter which you listen to anymore. Either one, he's a complete saint, or the other one, he's a complete crook. So it's,
I'm right. I'm with you, Tom, man. I'm tired of the stupid insanity because you know what? They look like a bunch of children fighting. And so I signed out of it. I just turned off. It's like, you know what? I'm going to make some videos. I'm going to make something funny. The hell with that.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Well, just like, I finally watched that last episode of Picard this morning. And just they slide these little things in that I don't know if other people are noticing or if that's like a slight to us, like, the one in the second or third episode where he's like, I don't like reading science fiction. And you're just like, oh, dude, come on. Or in this one, like, this is no place for a boy to be raised by women. Like, why he's not allowed to be. I mean, I get why he's not allowed to be there, but, you had to make it abundantly clear to everyone. Like, come on, I don't know. I'm just saying.
The funny part about it is, no, you're right. You're totally right. And I agree with you. And I missed the science fiction thing. I didn't even pick up on that. I mean, I remember the line, but I'm like,
I caught it.
Now that you say it, it's like, yeah, I guess. But the thing with the kid that pissed me off is like, if you flip-flop that and that was a girl, which they've done in similar things in stories before. But now, currently, if you'd have flip-flopped that around and it was like a group of monks and it was a young girl being raised by monks, everybody would be losing their minds.
Oh, you know it.
Right, and saying that she does not belong there,
being Patrick Stewart's background in theater, when he spoke those words in the show, it didn't surprise me because he probably actually doesn't like reading science fiction in real life. Patrick Stewart himself.
Oh yeah, and then as far as the kid goes, they're on a planet full of a bunch of Romulans.
Right.
Don't you think somebody would have lost their kid and would be more than happy to adopt a kid? And then he goes and forgets the kid for like 10 years.
Right. And I'm so sick and tired of
this.
Well, that's what I'm sick and tired of too. Like every time someone's like, you left us here to die. You left this, you left that. Well, why don't you just, Patrick Stewart, or I'm sorry, Jean-Luc Picard or JL, whoever you are, why don't you just say, hey, look, man, I did the best I could. I even threatened to quit. And guess what? They let me quit. Like, I couldn't help you people. Do you know that the synths attacked? Do you know this happened? Like, you're trying to tell me you're still blaming this guy for saving your lives?
Yeah, that's what bothered me too, is like, except for the kid, nobody has any room to bitch about their stasis in life, especially the Romulans or Raffi or any of that, because so much of that doesn't make sense. And that was something we kind of got to, is like, you know, the show would be better if we, but the problem is we're stopping to ask so many questions. And that's the problem, is it takes you out of the show.
And you know what I want to say to that, Tom, is retcon. They have to make some reason why Spock has to fly back and bring his red fucking bullshit to our beloved Star Trek.
You know, I was actually I started watching the newest Jay and Silent Bob movie today, and there is a part where they talk about reboots, Redcon, like they went through all like the stages of rebooting and all that stuff. That is the greatest part, dude. I haven't watched
so many
much
people
more,
are
though.
like, yeah, so many people are like, oh, it looks like it's gonna be woke. I'm like, trust me, get through the movie. It makes fun of that shit. They have an entire crew and they're diverse on purpose, and they even poke fun at that. The whole thing is the setup that Jay's kid is just like him, so she is the reboot. You know, it's like,
yes. Dude, all I know is I haven't finished it yet, but I was laughing out loud, first off, because they attacked Star Wars. I was shocked when he was like, you know, talking about, you know, a story about a young kid who learns to be a warrior Jedi and goes and blows up the Death Star, that a planet killing laser. And they're like, Star Wars. He's like, nope. You know, The Force Awakens. He's like, that's a reboot, you know, and then they had, it was reboot and something else they called it. I forget, but please, if you have not watched that movie yet, guys, take a look at it. It is funny as hell.
I love the hell out of it.
And Kevin Smith funded that pretty much. Like, he crowdfunded, he got investors, he toured, I think he still is touring the country with the film, just so that it'll get out there. And he needs that support, because we need more people like, I'm shocked to be saying this, more people like Kevin Smith out there. I love Kevin Smith. I don't care what anybody says. He might be a little cheesy and a little emotional, but the dude had a heart attack. Give him a freaking break.
All I know is that after Jay and Silent Bob reboot, I am definitely looking forward to Clerks 3 and the Mallrats sequel series, if that gets made.
I want the Mallrats. What's his name? Who played in Mallrats that was in it twice in the movie?
Brody.
Jason Lee. Jason Lee, man, he actually, like, he put in the effort in this movie. I was impressed. Him and Long, the guy who was their attorney and then went against them.
Bobby Long.
Dude, he is hilarious. That kid, man. He is. My name on Grindr is like Dark Wolf.
Do you know 20? That's the same character from Zach and Miri Make a Porno, right?
Yes, it's the same exact. Like, he's the only one that, like, I was shocked he actually played that character. It was perfect. Oh, it was so funny. So we're gonna. What else about
Justin Picard, Long? That's his name.
Justin Long. I knew it was wrong, but I wasn't gonna change it because I had no clue.
I knew what I was talking about, but yeah.
Come on, give it up for New Jersey. You know it. You know it. We got the good shit when it comes to comedians and writers. I love Jersey. I hate Jersey in the same breath. You guys have pork roll, which is fantastic. You have a little place in near Brielle. Where is it? Near Brielle. It's called Joe Leone's, that deli in North New Jersey. Freaking amazing. But then you also have, like, I don't know, the rest of Jersey. So I don't know how I feel about Jersey. I'm kind of close to that. But Bear, you have something right here. What's this? Is that still that same article? Anybody else here?
I'm here.
Okay. Bear.
Okay.
Bear.
Don't worry. All right, we lost Bear for a minute. That's all right, because
you didn't lose me. I was muted.
Oh,
I'm gonna sum this tail end up. Basically, she's got issues with men, multiple times, and she's in the past couple of years, she's also expressed that she has issues with men in other tweets. So basically, it sounds like she's a third wave feminist, and if she's supposed to be a writer, the She-Hulk writer, I think maybe she needs to put her political bias and her man hate aside. And if she can't do that, she doesn't need to be a writer for She-Hulk. personally. I think if she can't put her bias aside, then she needs to quit.
It does worry me.
Someone else needs to replace her. She needs to be fired because she cannot conceal her bias. Because basically what's going to happen is she's going to make everything she does political in a man-hate kind of way. And so this is going to be another flop. And if they don't learn, Marvel, learn from this, get rid of this person, because this person isn't going to do good. You're going to cause this movie to flop. We're going to have another Captain Marvel. And it's going to do worse because she's very, very man-hateful to me. And I will not go see anything that is going to have some woman harping about man-hate. Sorry, I can't support that.
This is what gets me. First of all, thank you, Palanuki, for its reboots and remakes. What's the difference? That was a funny ass part. But what gets me is this show hasn't even hit Disney Plus yet, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be a show with She-Hulk. And we already have an unknown writer talking shit about South Park. Like, once again, is Kevin Feige in control or is he not in control? Like, who is this girl, just rogue and she's going to do, interviews? Like, what is that all about? Because I'm shocked Kevin Feige allowed that to happen.
So am I, actually.
Yeah.
I think the man needs to step up and take control of his house, if he has any control at all.
And I agree with this one. Time to call Paul Jenkins Marvel. Yes, that is true. Paul Jenkins, it's time to save Marvel movies, not just the comic book now. Now you got to take on the movies too.
Yep.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. So what else about Picard? Have you guys noticed that? Because I am, once again, I say it all the time, I've been getting more and more into Star Trek because you guys are all into Star Trek, and I actually am starting to do it. I'm starting to enjoy like some of the stuff you guys have told me to watch. But now that I'm watching Picard, I watch it still as a casual fan, and I'm still annoyed with the choices they're making. First of all, Picard is always getting yelled at. He's always taking the brunt of everything. If you haven't checked out Script Doctor's last video on Picard, I think he did episode 3 today. Please check it out. He points out so many god dang flaws with it that as a casual fan, I'm already disliking it. And then he goes and points out all the missed opportunities and the messed up things they're doing about the history. I mean, even in this last episode, she says there's more than 3 billion stars in the galaxy. 3 billion stars in the honey, there's like more than 100 billion stars in our galaxy. Why would you even just say 3 billion? Like, you're a scientist. It's ridiculous, man. Lorena, hello, hail. One of our favorite people. And she loathes New Jersey. Yeah. Especially Northern Jersey. Right. Because Southern Jersey is more farmland and Hickville, USA. It reminds me of Steven. He's Southern Jersey's a little bit country, but also a little bit rock and roll. Okay. On with the next. What did you take from the last episode there, Mortal? Have you watched any of this?
You know what really chaps my ass is that they had to invent B4 to make a aged Brent Spiner. And they could have used Q or the Borg Queen to make Data human at some point, because that was his endeavor, his aspiration. And here's what pisses me off. Picard was probably his greatest human idol.
Right.
We don't get Data like that because what? Because bad robot? What do you think?
Well, the whole reason he wanted Data to die in the first place, Brent Spiner, was because he couldn't keep playing the character. And that was part of his deal with Nemesis, that was supposed to be the last time he was going to have to worry about it. Yeah. And in this instance, he looks like dog shit. And I've met the man in person not that long ago. He's not that fat. I don't know why they made him look so puffy. And not only that, we live in a day and age where the kid down the street can make Arnold Schwarzenegger look like, he's walking down the street right now, as long as you can get somebody who can do the voice. All you need to do is get somebody who kind of has the same body structure as Brent Spiner to stand in, and then you just deep fake his face over top of that kid. That's all you need to do.
Then I wonder about that, Tom. Like, did you see Gemini Man, or did you at least hear about it?
No, I know what it is. I haven't seen it yet, but yeah.
So would you be interested in a Brent Spiner who is pasted on Justin Bieber's body? And
it would bother me a hell of a lot less than sitting there looking him, making him look like he ate too many cream puffs.
But Tom, it's not even
50 years old, and he's actually older than that, but still, you know what I mean?
But it's not even that. It's like his color's off.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Is it really the 25%? Like, I always hear you guys talk about the 25% with Star Trek. Is it really that?
Well, the 25% thing really has to do with
licensing
and merchandising. See, because they can do whatever they want, they can use whatever they want, but if they want to sell something, it has to be at least 25% different or original.
Okay. Yeah, so Tom, Tom, is it true that with Bad Reboot, are they allowed to use the Next Generation licenses that shows that imagery and that continuity?
Not something we're sure about, because there's a big discrepancy there as far as we know, their deal only has to do with first generation stuff, basically, and the only reason I think this is plausible is because when Robert Meyer Burnett did the Blu-rays for the Next Generation box set, he had a bit in there where he was asking every one of the TNG members, the Star Trek reboot was a big hit and they successfully recast the original cast. Who do you guys see as your replacements? And they all gave their ideas. And then Patrick Stewart goes, well, of course, I already know who's going to play me. And he picked what's his face from X-Men First Class.
Oh yeah. Oh shit! What is his name?
What the hell is his name?
Xavier.
He's English, isn't he?
Yeah, I can't think of his damn name now. I just
English actor.
It. The guy who was in all the First Class movies as Xavier.
Yeah.
So he said he that's who he said. Well, then when they got to Paramount, got back to him and said, you guys have to take that whole bit out. And he's like, what? Why? He's like, never the two shall meet. He's like, what do you mean? The movies can't talk about the show. The show's off limits to the movies. Neither the two shall meet. That's all they kept telling him, is they can't have that in there. And he was bummed because he's like, it's this whole little bit where, he asked all the original cast who they'd love to see, in their recasts, So, but yeah.
Wow.
James McAvoy.
James McAvoy. Thank you. God dang it.
My brain. Script Doctor is going to be on in a little bit with us for you guys talking about him in the chat. So stay by. He should be on any minute. But he brought up another valid point about Picard in this episode 3 video he did. You have Picard coming out from just, threatening to quit, and they took him on, they called him on his bluff and he ended up quitting. And instead of showing us that battle between them, the arguing, him doing anything he can to save these people, they show us the aftermath of a broken man sitting on a bed, like, oh, I tried. Oh, speak of the devil. Here he is.
Hello, everybody. How's it all doing this weekend?
How are you doing, Script?
I am on cloud 9, sir. I am on cloud 9.
And why is that, my friend?
I had a very successful first Valentine's Day night with my girlfriend. So
now is this a new
name it after the fourth wave. Okay.
Is this a new relationship? So this is your first Valentine's with her?
Yes, we started. Our first date was actually the premiere of the Chapter 3 of The Mandalorian. I didn't watch it. I went out with her, and I was far better for it.
Did she see the previous 2 chapters, so she knows who Baby Yoda is? Yeah.
She saw it after it finished. It finished airing completely.
All right, fellas. Okay. This is my channel. We do not. All right, I'll let you finish that, Immortal. God damn it! But we don't talk about Baby Yoda on this channel.
Baby Yoda is good.
So So, Doc, may I call you Doc?
That's great.
This is nothing that Sport needs to hear. But did your girlfriend, did she like Baby Yoda? What did she think when she saw the IG bot about to kill him?
Oh, well, she thought Baby Yoda was cute. She's a relatively new Star Wars fan. She's only been a fan of Star Wars for 10 years, and she's 32, so she got into it late. But she thinks it's cute, but she's waiting to see what the point is.
Wow, so she's intelligent.
Yeah,
So
she's a math whiz. She's very good with numbers and analyzing things. She works in loss prevention, so she's very good with all that. So yeah, that's one of many reasons why I really, really, really like her.
That's good. Tell her to hate the thing. So Script Doctor, I've been fawning over you for the last like 10 minutes. I watched your Picard episode 3 video today, which was awesome. And Tommy, if you haven't yet, please put it in the chat. I wanted to ask you, because I started just talking about it, but you put it perfectly, how they're not, with the budget they have, they're showing us the aftermath of a scene we probably really wanted to see, like how Picard handed in his resignation and they took it, but we see the aftermath of that. So just explain a little bit of your thought process when you're watching that.
I'm baffled by it, because you want to tell your story in the most entertaining and dramatic way possible, even if it's in a comedy. And you do that by having charged events where you have conflict within a scene, making them, each scene each sequence should be kind of like a mini movie. There should be a premise. So there's a problem, there's a conflict, two people have different ways of approaching the problem, and then there's a resolution, which is one of those two people win. And you want to see that kind of play out, especially in a Star Trek episode. And all I could think about with that opening is that you've got a cast, you've got a standing set that we saw in episode 2 when Picard gets kicked out of the office and denied. Why don't you use that? Why don't you bring that Admiral in to show some history between her and Picard, and bring in some other voices that also represent different parts of Starfleet and or the Federation, and give us a really cool, passionate debate where each party member is fighting for what they think is right? Because you can skip all of the direct exposition, and you just have every single character's actions and motivations and arguments be the exposition to give us the state of this universe at this time. And they didn't do that, and I don't know why.
Right. I mean, it makes perfect. Like I wasn't even thinking about that until I saw, thank you, Tommy. So till I saw your video. And then I was like, oh my God, he's so right. Like every time I was watching it, I thought about these things, but I never really thought, why aren't they doing it? Like, why won't they take that extra? Is it the writers? Do they suck that bad? Because it can't be the budget. It can't be the budget.
It could be I think the writers suck that bad, or they're phoning it in. I mean, I kind of hope they're not, for two reasons. One, it's good to have a behavior of not phoning it in when you're writing a show, be it Star Trek or something on the CW. But two, if they aren't phoning it in, they're writing it this bad, then that bodes well for me, because I've never written that bad before. So I still probably have a shot once this woke atmosphere from some of the big budget people subsides. But yeah, I can't fathom why that is. And I'm pretty sure a lot of the money is being siphoned away because all the writers on the show are also producers. So they get technically 2 paychecks out of that.
Dun, dun, dun. Now if you're watching this channel, you probably watch Script Doctor too. But if you don't know, Script Doctor is exactly that. He fixes scripts in Hollywood. He's a writer. He's done a lot of things and still doing things. Hopefully in the future, that'll be more, bigger, better. And what would you do to fix Picard?
That's a great question.
Like just maybe your top 2 things.
He's already been fixed. He's got his nuts cut off already.
Tom is right there.
Greatest Valentine's.
The whole
ever.
show is I'm sorry. I'm a bad white man. I'm so sorry.
I've been
Oh,
lounging around for 15 years waiting to die.
Yeah,
Pretty
time to
much.
get off the couch. You know, he's
That's
been
a
waiting
sentence
around.
in his book.
That's a line from Logan.
Fuck it. I'm not
That's a
doing
line
that.
from Logan. You are
Yes, it
waiting
is.
for me to
Well, that's
die.
where old man Logan, old man Picard came from, was the line from Logan. You all are just sitting around and waiting for me to fucking die. I did that one day and everybody started laughing. I just kept going, I'm like, that's all Picard's going to be, is just old man Picard waiting around going, you just all want me to die. I can't do anything. I suck. And look at what it is. Look at what it is. It's all Picard does is suck.
They're going to blame it on Ben Dye syndrome.
I think they've loosely brought that up. They didn't mention the actual syndrome, but they inferred it in the
he's
conversation with
basically
his
got
doctor.
no time left. Yeah,
So
so
it's
he might as
Ben
well
Dye
have
or
fun.
it's Irmotic syndrome, or who knows what it is.
No, he had face sex with Sarek, so
No.
Yeah. He melded with Sarek, which means he also melded with Kirk, because Sarek melded with Kirk.
Oh yeah,
That's trippy and bizarre.
It's a human centipede. It's a inner.
Oh god.
So then why
It's
didn't
a
he
mind
know him?
meld centipede? Yeah.
So then why didn't he know him when he saw him in Genesis?
I think he did, because
Generations.
I
mean,
yeah.
Well, you kind of did know who he was. That's right. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
Kirk
was
didn't
more,
know
he was
who
more
he was.
astounded
Though.
that he
Yeah,
was
Kirk's like, hey, bald man, help me with some wood here.
Hey,
I'm gonna make some eggs. You want some? I don't know why you're hanging around, but I'm gonna go fuck my wife.
Wasn't it a Katarian egg? Katarian egg?
It's her favorite.
Yeah.
And he's in better shape than Patrick Stewart, actually. So, Will Shatner. So he's got some some more years left.
Oh fuck yeah, Kirk would have fucked Picard up.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like even today,
hands down.
Like I think
Well, and you
William
remember,
Shatner's
like,
actually 90, and he still looks like a 70-year-old. So
Kirk was inside. Kirk was inside sick bay, like pushing those like leg press like square things back into the wall of the So yeah, he could easily take Picard.
But to answer your question, Scott,
please.
How I would fix Picard is I would have the story take place moments after Spock had dropped the red matter and gone through the wormhole. Even though I hate that story idea, that's where I would start it, because there's a lot of urgency there. I would have Picard aboard the Enterprise leading a fleet of ships that are filled with refugees, trying to outrun the wave, to get clear of the wave so they can enter into warp and maybe lose a ship. In the process.
Well, that would be good, Doc, because we might get to see Picard fist fight Spock.
Maybe pissed by Spock, or at least mourning Spock because he vanishes as a result. I mean, he does technically stop the Hobus star's wake from expanding. So he stops the Nova in some regard. It still destroys a whole slew of planets, but he stops it. But there's still, a shambled Romulan star empire that still needs to be addressed. So I would have that be kind of the outcome. A lot of debate about where to settle these Romulans, because their territory is significantly gone now, and there's Federation planets they could do. There's Klingon planets. There's possibly Cardassian planets if they want to go that deep into the Alpha Quadrant.
I fucking hate the Kardashians. Cardassians. No.
Like all of a sudden you end up on one of their planets. Like, oh my god,
oh my god,
oh my god. Like
Magistrate who's a famous Olympic athlete, has switched genders.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, hi there, guys. Picard, you left my balls at the other ship. Why did it have to blow up?
Buckle up, fuckers.
You know what's fucked up is I never liked the Bajorans. Like, what?
Yeah, they did not paint religion in a good light in DS9.
No. And so, like, Kardashians, justify the fucking Bajorans, and we don't need either of that. Tell me stories about, Pon Farr, Spock on his fucking home planet. That was compelling.
Yeah, those were because the story that I would probably continue with Picard is the recourse of that. I wouldn't bring in synthetic labor or any of that stuff, because that's just red herring. But I would totally have the concept of maybe some Federation worlds thinking that maybe had a history with Romulans, thinking this is their opportunity to finally like squash an enemy that's been threatening them for decades. And I would have that ramification, how it can divide a Federation that people thought was whole, but maybe is not as strong as it used to be.
Doc, what do you think about the racial inclusivity of the Romulan species? Like, is that necessary? Do we need to have Asian Romulans? Do we need to have, and I'm not speaking derogatorily.
No, that kind of confused me. I was definitely confused by that.
Yeah.
That's a good question, because from my from my sci-fi mentality, I would think that no species should be completely uniform with regards to its appearance. I mean, there should be some commonalities, but I have no issues with like a black Romulan, even though with the copper blood, I don't think black would be the correct type of tone.
Well, no, that's what I thought when I saw Tuvok on fucking Voyager, man.
I loved Tim Russ doing the role. He was pretty good at that. But yeah, like if they did some makeup on him to sort of balance it out a little bit, because they even put a green tone on Leonard Nimoy's face when he was doing the show.
Yep.
Plus,
like don't forget the makeup back then. It worked well with the Panavision film type they were using, or was it way before that?
I think it was.
The type of film that they were using, they had to use certain types of makeup that react well with lighting in camera.
There's that. Right. There's also a lot of issues because their makeup tests, whenever they would film Majel Barrett as a
number one.
No, not as number one, actually, as a Orion slave girl for the camera tests. They'd send it off to development, and the development team would think that something went wrong, so they'd do everything they can to get rid of the green. And so they would ship it back, and they would look at it and be like, oh, I guess the green's not photographing well, so we got to do a darker green. So they do a darker green on Majel and then send it off, and then it'd come back. And then they did it 3 more times, and Majel was getting really, really pissed. So what ended up happening is, like, I think it was Gene or one of the camera ops was calling him, was like, hey, what's going on with the green in the film? And the developers are like saying, yeah, we're trying to get rid of it, but we're having a really difficult time. And the guy had to say, no, it's an alien test. She's supposed to be green. It's like, oh, okay. So like that's just one of the stories I heard when I got to intern at Paramount, which was pretty funny. But
that's funny. I've never heard that story before.
You never heard that story?
No, that's the first time I've ever heard that.
Oh, that's
good story.
It is a good story, yeah.
You heard it here on the Fourth Wave.
There you go.
Yeah, there's a couple of unauthorized biographies about the creation of Star Trek and stuff that's in there, and a lot of the stories are true. The best ones are like with Gene L. Kuhn, walking in on Gene Roddenberry's office saying, like, your writing's crap, but this is what we can do to make it better. And he essentially created what was the Federation and the ideals and all that stuff, because Gene just created the United Earth Space Probe Agency. That was his thing, and Kuhn is like, no, that's too technical. We got to keep it simple. We got to keep it inclusive for like other species, since we got an alien on the ship. So we'll call it the United Federation of Planets. And Roddenberry's like, oh, that's pretty catchy. Yeah, let's do that. And
wow. I want to know, Doc, what do you know about Martin Luther King and Uhura?
Oh, I know that when Uhura was considering leaving the show, Martin Luther King Jr. said, no, she has to be on there because she's an inspirational figure.
Right, she was
an inspirational figure that inspired Whoopi Goldberg. So,
oh wow,
yes, sir.
Yeah, she was ready to quit the show. Correct? I think I heard you talk about that on Tom's channel one time. She was ready to quit the show, and when she met him, he was like, "Hell no, you need to stay on there. You're." I mean, first off, she
was the most qualified fucking person to run the communications. It doesn't matter what color she is.
And
exactly.
I think it was right after that they wrote an episode where she had to repair the comm station, and Spock said, I can't think of anyone better to do it than you.
I can't remember what her issues with the show was, other than I think the pay wasn't the greatest.
It was part of the pay, and also part of the fact that Gene Roddenberry and her stopped sleeping together.
Oh, I didn't know that part of the story.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Lorena said, I got to hear Michelle Nichols tell the story about MLK in person at a conference, or excuse me, a convention. Amazing story. That I have to
She's
say,
also an amazing woman. I saw her one-woman show on Eartha Kitt. Fantastic.
She does a oh my God, that would be perfect.
She did that about 20 years ago. I was a teenager.
Oh, wow.
And it just happened to be, it was off Broadway in New York, I think was the show I saw. And I only went to it because it said Nichelle Nichols, and I'm like, well, yeah, you got to go.
That's amazing. Now I have a question. I have a question for Tom. Sorry, Script, didn't mean to cut you
Don't
off.
apologize for me. Yeah, go ahead.
I do have a question for Tom, and then Script and the rest of the crew. So, what do you think about the Lannister twins in the Picard show? I'm very confused by the brother-sister thing.
You talk about the Romulan twins?
I think it's more of I was going to say, I think it's more of either they're trying to get that Game of Thrones feel in there with little incest is the best kind of thing.
That's why I call them the Lannisters.
Or they're not really related in some way. The whole thing is fucking stupid and convoluted.
That's what I was thinking.
Because they want this chick and they're like, they're going to destroy her anyway. Then why is she still there and alive?
Well, the only reason they answer that is, and they answered it in this last episode, was because they believe there's more twins.
Oh,
that
for fuck's sake.
Oh, yeah. You didn't catch that part when she's choking them out?
I kind of remember, but I'm just like, whatever. This whole
right there. I was like, how many molecules were left of Data that they could freaking do this? How could they do more than one? I don't even think it's
from Data. I think it's from Lore, because he's the only one that's technically still, he's not active, but he's disassembled and held somewhere in Starfleet.
Sure.
Yeah, because Data deactivated him at the end of the Brother Soon story arc, which included the Borg.
But that was, I think, I think this is going to be the Star Trek version of the Skrulls.
You're giving them too much credit, probably, Bill.
Yeah, I probably am.
So there's going to be displaced Romulans, and that's against the you know what I'm saying.
Yep. I'm with you, brother.
See, because having it be Lore would make sense if you have an uprising, because Lore was obviously, whatever. But no, that would make sense.
You would hate the idea of synths, the way that they're being treated and stuff too.
Yeah, and nobody saw the when Hugh and Lore was leading the uprising of the Borg.
Well, Hugh fought against Lore. And on top of that, I forgot Hugh was in episode 3.
Oh, he was.
Yeah, I added in a little.
See really how sexy he was?
Oh yeah, he was here.
That's great. Yeah.
Well, I love Bill. I love how you point out. Because I didn't even think about it in that episode. How the dude has shrapnel in his arm. How did he get that?
Yeah, I wasn't the only one. Robert Meyer Burnett pointed it out too. I think Gary at Nerdrotic also pointed it out. We all did.
I'll give you credit, Tom. I mean,
no. But we brought it up where we thought maybe they were trying to do make him like a
badass
Wolverine type.
Yeah.
And then some people were pointing out the similarities, I guess, between him and a character on The Expanse, which I haven't seen, so I can't speak to.
No, it is. I know.
Yeah, PJ from Marvel Nation.
Yeah, and Bear has been really pointing that out a lot too.
Which aspect? There was a lot of things I pointed out.
Yeah, well, no, just the comparisons between that and The Expanse. The actor.
Oh yeah, the last video I did was comparing the ship in Killjoy, which is the Lucy, and the Rocinante in The Expanse. And I didn't even go into Dark Matter, because Dark Matter, there's also a lot of similarities too.
Yep.
And
what's Bear?
And the one thing I was waiting for you to bring it up. The one thing that caught my eye, what is the captain of this ship, a Van Halen fan?
Oh yeah, Robert Meyer Burnett and I were talking about that on Twitter.
The red ship. I talk about that in one of my videos that I'm getting ready to produce here in a minute.
What is it?
Basically, it's a red ship
guitar
with white crisscrosses.
Yeah.
You look at Eddie Van Halen's guitar.
Also, look at their greatest hits album from a few years back. Same exact design.
You're absolutely right. I didn't even see that.
It's the red with the white crossbars. Yeah.
Yes. That's ridiculous. And you're right. Orville Nation PJ is the one who's been pointing that out mostly.
My generation's basically the Van Halen generation.
I hear you, brother. I got
hardcore rock and rollers.
I have like their first 3 albums on LP, but I can't find my 3rd album for some reason. I got all them on CD too, but yeah. I'm one of those. I like Van Halen, not Van Hagar.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Hagar was much better on his own.
I'm a Sammy Hagar fan, and I just thought Sammy Hagar was trying to be a little bit like David Lee Roth.
I do like some of their songs in that era. Don't get me wrong, but
some of their stuff's good.
5150 was good.
Did you catch the free concert YouTube video that's out there floating around? I have to go back in my history of watching, but there's a really cool free concert they do in Texas. I think it was Texas.
That's cool. It was just funny because I was just reading an article on how all these legacy bands are carrying the music industry right now.
Oh God, yeah, it's just like reboots.
Isn't it crazy?
Let's just reboot the old band and get them going, man. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Well, the top acts are things like Elton John.
Yep.
And stuff like that, to where in the Stones and
the Stones still they're on their Kiss. Yeah, Kiss is 15 years retirement tour. It's freaking ridiculous.
Isn't this the second time they retired?
They've been retiring since 2001. They just had a lot of dates to make up.
Hey, have you caught any of the David Lee Roth band opening for Kiss?
No.
It's actually pretty good. The guy can still rock and roll, man. I'm telling you.
David Lee Roth. He's awesome.
To be honest with you, my whole thing with the whole Van Halen thing actually stems more to that deal where they really kind of fucked with David Lee Roth and they made him think that he was going to be getting back with the band, and then it was just for that stupid tour thing, and
Oh, we lost somebody.
I was just going to say, we lost somebody.
Where'd Immortal go?
Mortal Coil.
It happens to him sometimes. I have one more question about Picard, and that is this, because I'm a casual fan. If holograms could do everything a synth could do on a ship, why the hell do you have synths in the first place?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm really confused by this. I didn't realize a hologram could physically pick up things.
Yeah, they can. There are force fields and photons, I think is what the term on Voyager was used. And there's apparently also like thousands of EMH Mark 1s scrubbing and mining stuff somewhere. So I don't know why they can't be repurposed.
Do you remember the EMH on Voyager? The holographic doctor?
Yep.
Oh, Scotty, you were thinking holographic communications, right?
Well, no, I'm with you because
toward the tail end of Deep Space Nine, they had holographic communication where there was this weird outlined little pad on the bridge off to the side where a hologram of whoever they were talking to would pop up. And the first one was installed on the Defiant, and the other one was installed on one of the ships that was working with the Defiant and during the Dominion War.
I'm not talking about communication. I'm talking about physically being able to do this stuff. I was really I
knew you were. I was just making sure that wasn't the one thing you were talking about.
Oh no, I was taken back by that. I was very confused by that. I'm like, why even have synthetics, as they call them now, I guess? Why have synthetics if a hologram could do it and you could easily say, be gone, like adios, ciao, Francesco Rinaldi, whatever you want to say. Like,
pull out an isolinear chip and deactivate it. Yeah.
Yeah. Who's the, all right. Yeah. No worries. I'm sorry. I'm reading the private chat. No worries, Tom. So we're just going to talk about maybe one more thing I was thinking about. And it is an article that I freaking closed. So I will be bringing that up. You guys keep bantering, banter on, because our fans really want to hear from Script and Tom.
Rebel
monkey dishwasher.
Yeah, purple monkey dishwasher.
Yeah, like you make a great point with regards to the holograms, because they're actually more advantageous and potentially more dangerous because they can choose whether to be transparent, or phaseable and solid. So if they were to turn, you'd have to find the core. You have to take out all the holographic emitters in the area, or find the core computer core that's running the program and disable that. And it would be kind of like a Die Hard situation, because you have to try to make your way through there while there's however many of these holograms able to potentially stop you. There's a lot of potential for horror in that concept. And
I didn't think of it that way. That's actually a very good point, man. But why? Like, when did so Bear, you said it. When did it start? When did they start using holograms?
Star Trek Voyager.
So Voyager did do this.
Yes, their main
Voyager had a EMH hologram that was able to grab things. And if you remember back in the Next Generation, they had a holodeck that they could go in and interact with things. And they've always had holograms have always been able to pick stuff up and stuff like that. In the holodeck, stuff like that for their entertainment and stuff.
Oh no, I knew the holodeck, but this is the whole ship.
Yeah, for the Voyager, it was limited to the sick bay.
I think Voyager was probably the first one to start putting holo emitters on the bridge and stuff like that, so the Doctor could transfer himself there and become the emergency command in case anything happened to the crew. That was later developed in the tail end of Voyager. And the holographic Doctor, it was a thing. I think Voyager was the first one to have the holographic Doctor. And basically what they're doing is they're taking all these little tiny pieces from all the shows, and like wet spaghetti, they're throwing it at the wall and hoping that it will stick.
I see.
And so it's a real thing. It's not something that they just pulled out of their ass, you know. The way they're doing it, I gotta say, it is kind of creative. But I'm not seeing the point, other than it's convenient for that guy. He don't have to pay nobody.
Well, the other part that's kind of weird is that every hologram on his ship is classified as an emergency hologram of something, and I'm like, how do you have an emergency hospitality hologram? It's a hospitality hologram. There's never an emergency for hospitality unless you're a socialite. And this guy's clearly nothing of that sort. So I don't see the point. I also don't see the point in having either a holographic pilot or a holographic tactical officer, because it's still integrated within the ship's functions. I mean, I can understand a holographic maintenance guy who can, go out on the hull and scrape something off or fix something in the engine room because it needs physical interaction. But tactical and piloting, that's all done through input to consoles. So if you have an AI that can do that, you don't really need a holographic representation for it. It's kind of redundant. And also,
yeah, that makes no sense, man. I mean, they all look like him too.
They could control it without even being there, an interface. It could just be a computer interface or something like that. I think that what they're doing is, I think they're just trying to be more creative.
Well, they're also trying to have fun with that one actor, because he's able to do different accents with each hologram, and actors love that because they're able to play multiple characters and not feel dulled out by the role.
More money for him.
No, it isn't more money for him at all, actually.
Well, you have Mage Grey Wolf saying that too. I think all the holograms are intended as a running gag, and in a way, I that's what I thought too.
That'd be nice if they actually had a joke with them, aside from the fact that their existence is a joke.
My computer won't let me bring up the other article, or I'm going to lose the whole stream. So I just wanted to get your thoughts on this. So
you talking about the Star Trek Boss article?
The one about Patty Jenkins. Don't even worry about it. We're only going to be on for a little bit longer. So Patty Jenkins, I'll actually bring it up. And if anybody has to jump out, jump out. But Patty Jenkins, the director of Wonder Woman 1984, which is in the private chat there, buddy. She actually came out and said the reason why she picked Chris Pine is because he is no beta, and people are losing their collective minds over this. That she,
I got to interrupt you. Someone commented on the article we just read. Someone used the female C word. I'm not going to say it. Just some C angry that some of her opinions have been mocked. He commented on the article on Bounding in the Comics about that.
Well, it's the truth.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it out loud, but it's the truth. I got all women in my house.
I wasn't gonna either, man, because
but
they hate that word.
Yeah, but what is your feelings on that? What are your feelings on people? Again, it's a woke culture we live in. To say a man, the reason why you picked this man is because he is an alpha. Even though, let's not forget, in that movie, he starts off the alpha showing her the world, but then by the end of it, he is supporting her as the lead because he realizes she is the true hero and he can only support her, which I thought was, even though that movie's ending sucked, but I still love the movie, but the ending sucked. I thought his character development in that movie was fantastic.
I really liked Chris Pine in that film. I actually like Chris Pine in a lot of stuff. Even the Just My Luck movie with Lindsay Lohan. He's the only thing good in that film.
I even like the movie where he was in that one movie where everyone was catching this disease and it was killing people. I forget the name of it. He was good in that too.
Oh, perfect. I'm sorry to interrupt you guys. That's the one I want to actually read, Tom. That is perfect. Now you're here. Oh, that's if you have a couple more minutes, Tom, I wanted to ask you about that. I just read in the private chat. I'm sorry, everybody, if I sounded like a whack job just jumping in. But the other article I wanted to bring up, and it's right here, Bear, thank you for bringing it up, is this one. Bear, if you could scroll down, this is actually to do with a little bit about our friend Tom here. So I'd like to take his view on this. Just read the headline there, Bear.
Star Trek boss Alex Kurtzman's The Silence of the Lambs spin-off plot details allegedly leak by John F. Trent.
So, Tom,
they're real.
They are definitely real.
They? Oh, so we have inside information. These are real leaks. Okay.
Yeah, unless there's a rewrite, these are the...
This is how it is for now, yeah.
Oh, well, Bear, why don't you just, if you can, jump into what the leaks are. So read a little bit and see where the leaks start. Kurtzman gets his hands on another franchise. How? Whose pictures does this guy have? Who did he take footage of doing something really kinky?
I don't know.
Or rather, you gotta wonder,
take that away from him.
You gotta wonder who's manipulating him.
Why do you say that?
Because a lot of times, man, there's a three-prong in devious things in Hollywood. Things comes in threes. Just food for thought. Someone could be manipulating him, and he could be manipulating somebody else because he's being manipulated. Fucking layers, man. Hollywood, they're toxic.
Blew my mind, bro. Blew my mind. All right, so
plot details regarding Star Trek boss Alex Kurtzman upcoming Silence of the Lambs spinoff Clarice have reportedly leaked online. A Silence of the Lambs spinoff was announced back in January with Deadline reporting a pilot script that had allegedly been written for the MGM produced show.
I should let John know that he has something wrong there.
Why? What is wrong?
He has the title wrong. It's not going to be called Clarice.
What's it going to be called?
It has a really dumb fucking title. What is it, Script Doctor? Like After the Silence or some shit like that?
Something like that, yeah. I mean, like, the file name is called Clarice, but that's...
The actual show name is, something different,
yeah.
Yeah, I should let John know that.
Oh my God, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a really horrible title. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there, Bear.
Well, the Deadline's got it wrong, too, because they're citing the same name.
Oh my God!
Oh, I should fix that.
Yeah.
Let me look up the actual title, unless Bill's already got ahead of me.
No, my computer's doing a little bit of a lag right now, so.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
And it's an MGM production on CBS.
Co-production with CBS, I believe. Yes.
That's weird.
Well, it's CBS All Access is the streaming service. CBS can I think MGM has a licensing for Clarice.
Yes.
MGM. Yeah, MGM only owns the rights to Silence of the Lambs, and that's it. Yep. Otherwise, Universal and De Laurentiis own the rights to all the other books and characters. Right. So all they have is any character that originated in Silence of the Lambs. That's very important.
In the movie.
In the book, but yeah.
Oh, in the book. Okay.
I just did a Clarice set at CBS search, and all the articles are referring to it as Clarice.
Oh, wow.
We even say it in the video, so you must have missed that. Let me see if I can find it here. I got it somewhere.
And if you can, Tom, drop the video in the link so people can watch it later.
It's actually in that article there. They got it linked.
Oh, it is? Oh, great.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
What the fuck did I do with it, Bill?
I don't check your email.
Oh, here it is. Here it is.
There's that video of Tom's in the chat there.
Thank you there, Bear.
The silence is over. Oh, maybe it is. Maybe that's just the episode of the name of the episode. That could be.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. The thing is, okay, this has kind of been new, but for ongoing series, they don't call the pilot anymore in their stuff.
Oh,
So
no?
Not always, no. It's pretty rare. Sometimes they
Yeah,
have...
see, it says here Clarice pilot, then silence is over.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that sometimes myself because, years of doing it the other way.
All right, so read on, Bear. Let's see if we can find any more mistakes.
The Silence of the Lambs, featuring Clarice Starling and taking place in 1993, a year after the events of The Silence of the Lambs. Deadline described the project as a deep dive into the untold personal story of Clarice Starling, as she returns to the field to pursue serial murderers and sexual predators while navigating the high-stakes political world of Washington, D.C. Oh, here we go, man. Washington, D.C. If they're going to throw some bullshit in there, I got a feeling.
Well, it's 1993,
Yeah.
so that's Clinton era. That's Clinton era. So we'll see what they do.
Actually, you know what? Being this Clinton era, they're going to leave it alone. They won't do nothing with it. In a statement announcing the series, Kurtzman and fellow executive producer Jenny, was that Lumet?
Yeah, Lumet or Lumet. I think she might also go by Lumet, but I've never met her. Yeah.
Stated, after more than 20 years of silence, we're privileged to give voice to one of America's most enduring heroes, Clarice Starling. They added, Clarice's bravery and complexity have always lit the way, even as her personal story remained in the dark. But hers is the very story we need today. Oh boy, her struggle. Oh, her resilience. Oh, her victory. Her time is now and always. Oh my God. The alleged plot details were leaked by YouTube channel Midnight's Edge. Hail.
Who are those fuckers?
Yeah, fucking. I don't know.
Midnight's Edge confirms Deadline's initial reporting that the pilot takes place a year after the events of The Silence of the Lambs. They detail that Clarice is a media celebrity for her rescue of Catherine Martin and stopping Buffalo Bill. Midnight's Edge continues for the past year as she has been doing data entry by the Bureau and has been mandated by them to attend trauma therapy after her encounter with Buffalo Bill to see if she's fit for duty, active duty. Well, Clarice is suffering from PTSD. She doesn't sleep well and spends more time communicating with families of the victims of Buffalo Bill and avoids talking with Catherine Martin. Must be
she's the survivor.
Right.
Survivor.
Yeah.
She was the girl in the
so that Senator Ruth Martin, now the Attorney General, has pulled Clarice away from her therapy to assign her a new Special Agent for Violent Crime Apprehension Program, or VCAP. Details, Midnight's Edge. The alleged details continue. She is sent to D.C. to join an investigation of two murdered women, leading... Oh, two murdered women. Okay. Yep. Leading the investigation is Special Director of VCAP, Paul Krendler, who doesn't think Clarice is ready for the field and lets her know it constantly. Also, he's the bad man, right? They're going to paint him as the bad guy.
Well, he was technically he is a character from the books, and he is technically kind of that asshole in the books too. But it sounds like they're really going to amp it up here.
Yeah.
Can't wait to hear this one. I actually just remembered I did watch your video. I was like, oh, wait a minute, this is all sounding familiar now.
He's her antagonist in the series, and the script suggests there is a dirty history between the two, but it's never spoken in the dialogue. So it will be up to the actors to convey this through body language. Midnight's Edge continues. The powers that be at VCAP have decided that the 2 murdered victims have fallen prey to a serial killer. Clarice doesn't think so, but is ordered by Krendler to say it is to the press so they can move along with the investigation.
Which makes no fucking
makes
sense
little
at all.
sense as it is currently written.
No, it's so retarded. I'm sorry. It's so
Yeah, you seen the
ignorant.
problem. You seen I had a problem reading that. I'm like, what?
No, Script Doctor, you can say that here. Don't worry.
Well, I mean no ill will to anyone that may take offense.
You're not calling anybody that. You're saying this is retarded. Which
it definitely goes backwards. Yes, it goes backwards to intelligence.
Yes.
I will say it's very, very, very remedial.
Well, it has Kurtzman involved. It's definitely remedial.
Kurtzman, just yeah. Excuse me while I go get therapy real quick for saying his name. Clarice is then teamed up with a Cuban American, Thomas
Esquivel.
Escobar. Okay.
Esquivel, who is a few years older than Clarice and is most likely her love interest in the show. They interview the husband, one of the murdered women, Frank Bird, who is a shell of a man in the wake of his wife's murder. He has a 6-year-old autistic son and an infant daughter. He's not the most experienced of fathers, needing Clarice to teach him how to change his daughter's diaper. So this is going to be a bad father moment.
And he's got how many kids did it say? Like 5, I think it said, or something?
No, he has 2 kids.
Oh, 2 kids.
He's not a bad father. He's just a doubtful father. There's nothing in the script that dictates him that he doesn't care about, love, or cherish his children. He's just defeated and doesn't know how to, build himself back up for it.
This is going to be, oh, you're doing it wrong. Here, this is how you do it, you idiot.
It all depends on how it's played. I mean, if it's played that he's a dad trying to figure it out, I can respect that. If it's
definitely
played like you're
more
saying,
like that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
It's not an in-your-face part, but it's definitely contrived.
Well, we're so used to the fathers being. I mean, Hollywood has destroyed the father. So
yeah, I seriously have my doubts on whether they're gonna put any.
Well, to double it though, I mean, it may be played off like that, but Clarice doesn't have any kids, so there's nothing. So why should she know how to do it and he doesn't?
Right.
Yeah, and there's no in the storylines that I know of from the movies at least that she didn't have any siblings growing up or something like that.
I think she's supposed to have grown up in an orphanage or a foster home at some point.
Well, yeah, because that was the whole thing. She lived on her uncle's farm or whatever it was, and that was the screaming of the lambs.
Right.
They continue later and learn that the second murdered woman had a grandchild with autism in their first connection. Before they can dig further, the third victim emerges and confirms that the mother of the autistic children are being murdered. From here on out, the investigation points toward drug companies whose products may cause autism.
Oh my
Whistleblowing, dead journalists, and close to the encounter with a hitman. Now, if they are going to put stuff like certain vaccinations causing autism,
I was wondering.
It's not vaccinations, but
okay.
It's definitely leaning.
But it leans towards it, and basically, it's not very popular to write about and to put in TV shows.
In California, it is.
And people who try to get blacklisted.
Well, I always ask those anti-vaxxers if they're willing to go over to China and see if their theory is going to work.
Yeah. Oh. Anybody want to get some smallpox or anything like that? Let's do this.
I mean,
yeah.
Morons. Sorry. All right, go on, Bear.
Midnight Edge then notes Clarice shoots and apprehends this hitman, who is a manipulative fellow, but he lives and will provide Clarice with further information and maybe, just maybe, implied flashbacks to the character who, in this series, must not be named. They add
Clarice.
They add Krendler wants Clarice to tell the press that they got their guy and to end this with the media as a win. I'm surprised they didn't put Big Win in there.
So yeah, as far as I can tell, though, this isn't the actual guy who did it. This is somebody who's going after her.
Right. So
And then this guy, I think they set him up as kind of like a quasi Hannibal wannabe.
Gotcha. So the real, terror is still out there.
I have a couple of theories as where it could go, but yeah, the person that's done the killing has been apprehended, but there might be more, and it might be something bigger. Yeah.
Oh, they do get one. I didn't get to read the whole script yet.
Is it like a cult? Is it?
It doesn't go that far. It doesn't even go that far. It pretty much ends with Clarice getting the hitman, and then that's pretty much it. But
so it's going to turn out either to be a secret society of white men, or it's going to be someone that works with her that might be just a white man. I have a feeling. Don't I'm not the professional though, script. I'm not the professional.
I'll give you my three theories. The first being is that there is possibly some sort of cult that is like anti-drug, anti-vaccination, that is killing these mothers because they took headache medication while they were pregnant and they have autistic children.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is that it's the drug companies that wants to quiet potential whistleblowers. And the third one is that it's the mothers themselves, the victims, planned all this to get attention to expose the drug companies by having someone murder them so that it can't be hidden in the press or through legal actions.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's taking it to the next level.
I'm just trying to go in the most convoluted ways possible because that seems to be the pattern of Alex Kurtzman's work.
Right. And I mean, this has happened in the past with medications that have messed with, fetuses. In the 60s, they had
medications. It's a real thing. Which
I mean, I don't know. I don't remember exactly what the birth defect was called, but in the 60s, like kids' appendages, like arms were like just hands or just feet, like very short from a medication mothers were given.
There was that, and also the DDT, I think it was, or whatever.
That might be. Is that the same one? I don't know. But
yeah, the DDT was what they used to kill mosquitoes with and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that,
oh, the D. Yeah, that was affecting babies too. So I could see why they're going this route. It's just, will it have the agenda that most of film and TV are doing nowadays, where we're bad, everybody else is correct. Like Kurtzman follows that thread. He loves that thread. It seems to me.
To a point, and the other part too, and this is actually really bothers me because I do have a nephew that is autistic, and there's no correlation with regards to like medications, vaccines to autism. In fact, there's more of a correlation to smoking and drinking while pregnant than that. But it's still up in the air.
All the preservatives they put into your foods nowadays, like there's so many different things. Also, autism wasn't really recognized in the 60s, 70s, 80s. Kids had it. They were just called something different,
Yeah, and on top of that, the percentage per capita hasn't changed in the decades past.
Exactly.
And I mean, one of the things that I do is I support the charity drive up here in Canada to help pay for the schooling to help kids with various levels of autism better integrate into people, and also new diet programs, because he's my pseudo brother. Like, I'm not actually related to this guy, but we've grown up together since we were toddlers. But he's a chef, so he makes really healthy meals and stuff, and he's done fasting with the kid and to sort of figure out what's going on. And some parts work for him. It doesn't always work for other children, but it helps him get a bit more sociable when he's eating something pretty healthy and not sugar heavy.
Well, Outlaw over here is a doctor, an actual one, and
yes.
he knows a great deal about a lot of this stuff. Now, I personally, and I know this is the fourth wave, we don't really get into stuff like this, but I really believe, from the 50s on, with the change in carbs are good for you, low fat diets, things like that have really affected people in America mostly, with gaining weight, heart disease, diabetes. I am a type 2 diabetic, could not control my diabetes, had a lot of problems with it. And I switched to a keto diet, and it changed everything for me. I am no longer on 4 medications for diabetes. My cholesterol is 100 times better. Like, so
you're producing insulin at a more regular rate.
Exactly.
Too much. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. And it all from taking a chance on a diet that should be taught more of and researched more of.
Not so much a diet, just an eating habit.
Yeah. eating better.
My thing is healthy fats, high fiber, and some eggs.
And
like
sugar
that.
bad. You know,
I did the same thing with the bad cholesterol types and canola oil, any vegetable oil, canola oil, corn oil. It's like putting liquid sandpaper through your arteries.
Stick with olive oil, you know,
and,
avocado.
You know, I got rid of margarine and I use olive oil, extra virgin olive oil for cooking stuff.
Yeah,
and you can use coconut oil. You can use coconut oil for some type baking goods, some cookies and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and
I live on that stuff.
There's other oils that you can use. There's if you don't have peanut allergy, you can use peanut oil. You can use I believe sesame seed oil.
Right. It's just not the vegetable oils. And there, you know, like our bodies are made to burn fat, and sugar, what thrives on sugar? Cancer cells. I mean, there's so many things that we're not being taught because of now going back to this, I'm trying to bring it back around to this, big corporations like Kellogg and things like that. Now you have big pharma and how that affects people. So I'm kind of interested on where they go with this, if it's done well, and it's scaring me to think it's probably not.
Yeah, it's not going to be done well. It's not going to be done smart.
I think that my 6-year-old, his first word was this, and he was 17 months old or less. Mm-hmm. His first word was early, and then after that he went quiet, and he went quiet after he was vaccinated.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, man, but a lot of research.
And it was one of the really big important vaccinations that he got vaccinated. I think he was like because I wouldn't allow him to be vaccinated until he was almost 2 years old. I wouldn't allow it at all. And they were pressuring me to get him vaccinated. I'm like, no, he don't need to have any of those major vaccinations until he's almost 2.
Are you talking about like you do the polio and like the simple ones, right? Like polio and
the big ones, the ones that are major children killer. I waited till he was like 3 months away from being 2 is when I allowed that to happen. And those vaccinations, those were the big ones, you know. And he was never the same after that.
And I can't speak on that.
So different. They were pretty much sure about him being autistic at 3 months.
Right. I can't speak on that either, Bear.
That was before he even got vaccinated. It was like right away. They knew.
Right. But in America, it's smart to at least vaccinate the things that we have already eradicated, so polio and things like that don't come back. And
I'm not saying vaccines are bad. I'm just saying
I understand what you're saying.
Some of the filler stuff that they may be putting in it are probably not, like mercury.
Yeah, I don't know about that either. My
mercury's
sister,
not the thing. That's you have to worry about in a vaccine. There's right in the U.S. vaccines. There's some other stuff that they don't allow in Canada that they've never allowed in Canada.
Right.
And also in the UK and Europe. I don't know why the US has a faster FDA approval thing than Canada. Canada takes years for something. Yeah,
my sister works on vaccines. She's Prevnar 13 and all these. She developed them with people. And I trust her view on stuff. She wouldn't poison, my children. It could have been a bad batch. It could have been this. It could have been that. Like, in my view, vaccination is a smart thing to do. We see more cause of death for not vaccinating children than not. And my heart goes out to you, though, and your family member, my friend. I'm going to have to wrap this up, though. I'm sorry if I'm echoing. I'm just starting to hear that.
No, I don't hear it.
It hasn't been
that
bad.
The first time I heard it. Yeah.
Good.
It was sporadic. It didn't happen like twice or so.
All right, good. Tom, thank you so much for jumping on this little channel of mine for the Fourth Wave. You definitely help us all out. I appreciate it, man. If you want to, I know you really don't have to, but if you like to plug anything, please do.
I'd love to plug a few people, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. Here we go again.
But make sure you check out all these guys and all that good stuff. And if you haven't found our channel yet, do check it out. Midnight's Edge and Midnight's Edge After Dark channels, I should say.
Hail. And Script Doctor, please, if you guys have not subscribe to Script Doctor. I'm sorry, you're a moron. Please subscribe to him. He's amazing. Script, what are you working on, or what did you just drop?
So I just dropped episode 3 of Picard review. Please feel free to check it out. I am about 2 pages into my review for episode 4. I really want to try and get that out before the 5th episode drops. That'd be nice. And yeah, most of my Monday I've got off, so I'm going to be spending that writing and recording a bunch of videos. Half of the Batwoman videos that I have aired already, I have recorded. They're long, and I have to edit those, and it takes about an hour and a half to edit every 10 minutes of footage. So that takes some time.
That does, man. Well, again, Script, talk to the boys. I'm going to let everybody know. Talk to the boys in the background of this. We would love to have you as one of our in the batting cage or in the on deck. So if we need you, and we would love to have you on more often. So hopefully
hey, I love
you'll be
talking with
available.
you guys. It's always a fun chat. So yeah.
Yeah. You are welcome as a guest anytime on the Fourth Wave. If we have the room, please, we'll send you out one. So be prepared. And the great Bear Nerd Fun. What are you doing? What are you working on? Where can they find you?
I will close with this. There was one little aspect of this last episode of Picard that I didn't really mention. When did they start using hyperdrives? Can anyone tell me this? Since when did they leap from warp drive to hyperdrive?
I didn't even notice that. Yeah, and I think don't they have warp drive copyrighted?
Mm-hmm. They do. Yeah. And hyperdrive.
Now I got to rewatch this.
It was when they went to warp. I'm like, that's not warp. That's hyperdrive.
Oh, are you talking about the visuals?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
that's like
the visual of it.
The JJ Trek hyperdrive
warp
tunnel.
Yeah, okay, I get what you're saying.
It almost looked like a tunnel. Yeah, it was pretty close.
I think it was. We were talking about it, and Gary jumped on. Was that on your channel?
Well, yes,
that was your channel, right?
Yes. If you want to watch that, please check out that live stream.
And I thought I was mad, but woo, boy, Gary was mad. Oh man, I thought I was mad, but woo, man, he was ticked. And I was just blown away by like, okay, this ship doesn't belong in Star Trek. I've never seen any ship like this in Star Trek. It looks cool if it was in something that wasn't Star Trek. And what pissed me off was the hyperdrive tunnel when they're at warp.
Yeah,
that's just like, what the hell?
See, that's something that you guys see that I would never see because I don't watch it enough. But Bear, where can they find you? Where are you working on? What are you working on?
I am working on Star Trek Picard overview video, getting ready to have that render, and that will be up probably in about an hour from now. And it won't take long for me to upload because the phone is super fast compared to the computer, and it's fast too. So there'll be the Star Trek Picard overview, and I just talk about episode 1 through 3, and I maybe go on some rants here and there. You can find me at Bear Nerd Fun, YouTube, and you can also find me on Twitter. And I'm sure Tommy has thrown the link out there.
Oh, heck, he has.
I like to
thank you. I just want to say thank you, Tommy, for taking care of us and throwing our links out there for us. We appreciate you. And thank you, chat, for coming. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Doc.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Scotty, for having us.
Oh, anytime.
Fourth Wave.
I'm getting good at this, I think. Thank you, everybody. Yes, hail, Bear. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. This was a Fourth Wave stream, and we stream live every Wednesday and Saturday nights.
Scotty,
usually, yes, sir.
I have to correct you.
What is that?
The Fourth Wave.
Oh, my bad. The Fourth Wave. Every Wednesday and Saturday nights between the hours of about 6 and 7:30, because we never know when we're going to start. So be prepared. You can also find me on Twitter and check out my videos. Hopefully in the month of March, I'll be upping a lot of them. And again, everybody, remember, if they are calling you names, they've already lost the war. Have a great night, everybody.
Bye-bye.